Hello, hi, this is Aditya and welcome to Shankar MarkTech channel. This video is part of AEM tutorial playlist, the link for which I'll give it out in the description. In this video, I'm going to explain the basics of the page authoring, and I'm also going to explain how you can create the custom components in AEM and add it to the page. If you are liking the videos which I'm doing, please subscribe to my channel, and let's get started with the presentation. Okay, so if you want to do the hands-on along with me, then you must have already installed the AEM jar and like this, and you must have also installed the AEM weekend guide. Okay, so if you haven't already done that, then I have two separate videos on how exactly you will have to do these things. So please follow those videos and install these two things like jar and the weekend guide, and then come back to this video. So as I told already in this video, first I am going to introduce you to page authoring. Then I am going to show how exactly we can create a custom component and add it onto the page. So now let's see how we can open a existing page in AEM. So once you are logged into AEM using the default credentials like admin and admin, you will land upon this page. So all you need to do is you have to click on these sites. Okay, then you will go to sites.html/content. So in this, you will be able to see this weekend sites project, the weekend sites project which we have installed and deployed, right? So the same project content page you will be able to see. So this is called as your root folder. Okay, and this entire structure, whatever we are seeing is the site structure. So AEM enables us to do multi-site management, right? So we will have to create this structure. Okay, it's a best practice to create this structure, like what is the country and then what is the language. So if we want to deploy the site onto a new country, then we can create a new folder like India, and then a new language also you can create. Okay, so in that way we have to create a site structure. So what is the country and what is the language? And if you go into the language, you will see all the pages here. Okay, so let us suppose I open the EN page. Okay, so how do I open it? So there is a checkbox here. Okay, we need to click on this checkbox and you will see the options here. Okay, create, edit, properties and all other options. Okay, so if you click on these properties, then the page properties like what is the page name and what is the title and other stuff will open. So these are the basic page properties which will go into the head section of the page. So if you want to edit this page, then you need to click on this edit button. So then the page will open in the editor. So if you see here, this is the editor.html/content weekend and en.html. So this is the page which we have opened. So this page is being opened in the editor. So we'll see how the editor will look like once it opens. Okay, so once the page opens, you should see something like this. Okay, so this is called as, this is one default component which they have added, which is hello world component. Okay, so this hello world component should render. If it is not rendering, then it means that there is some issue with the installation or with the version of your AEM. Okay, so current version when I'm recording this video is 6.5.10, which is the latest version. So all the core components, once you install this weekend guide, all the core components will be of that latest version 6.5.10. So on top of this, so if you are having a jar, if you have an AEM jar of 6.5.0, let us suppose, then you will have to install on top of it a cumulative service pack which will take you to 6.5.10. And you might also have to install the ACS Commons package, which is the latest one. So after installing all that, only this page will appear. So otherwise it will look like blank. So if you don't have all those things, if you don't have all those jars, then what you can do is you can go to this particular page. You can go to this particular page. This is the core component versions. Okay, so if your version of the AEM is 6.5.0, then just go down to this 6.5.0. What is the initial version? So here we are seeing 6.5.58. Like this, if we go to 6.5.0, then you see what is the core components version, and try to download this package and install it. Okay, so then you will be able to open this particular page. Okay, so when you see the blank page, you must understand that there is some version mismatch of the core components and your AEM package. Okay, so having said that, let's come back to the authoring part. Okay, so now if you click on this button, right? So if you see this button, this is called as toggle side panel. Okay, if you click on this, what happens is side panel will open. Okay, so and here you see something called as drag components here. So this component is called as a layout container. Okay, so you will be able to add any components by clicking this plus sign. So these are all the components which are out of the box available. So you can just click on any of this component and it will get added here. Like for example, if I wanted to add button component, all I need to do is press on that button and see here the button got added. Okay, so that's how it gets added. And if you want to delete that, you have to just click on this delete and delete it. Okay, so this is very simple. You can add any component and delete any component dynamically. Okay, so if you come here in the left hand side, what you see here is assets. Okay, so these are called as assets, and here you see all the images, videos, and any assets which you have uploaded. And you can just drag and drop onto the components. Like if there is an image component here, then you can just drag and drop on this image component. Okay, and automatically that image will be rendered here. And if I come to below one, this is called as components. Okay, so here if I want to add any component, let us suppose here, one way is I can click on this plus and add it. Otherwise I can just drag and drop the component here and automatically that component will get created. Okay, and if I want to delete again, I just click on delete and that gets deleted. Okay, so yeah, that's how we delete it. So we can just drag and drop also. That's one way of adding the components here. And the third tab which you see, this is called as content tree. Okay, here what it is showing is this is the title. Okay, if you click on this, it will highlight that particular component. Okay, so this is the title component. Okay, it will also show here what is that component. Okay, if you click on this container, then it's showing this is that blue color highlighted part is the container. Okay, inside this container you have this component, teaser component, and this is another teaser component, and this is another teaser component. And here if you click on this, there is a hello world component also which is added here. It doesn't have any content, so if you just click on here, it is not showing up anything. But if you click on the component, then it will highlight it, like what is the, it will highlight where exactly that component is. So this is all about this toggle side panel. Okay, so now if you have now let's see what is there as part of this page information. So if you click on this page information, then a menu will get open. So from here you can either open the properties or you can publish the page. So if you publish the page, this is the author instance, right? Then the page automatically will get published onto the publish instance. Okay, so then you can unpublish it. You can edit the template. So what is the template? I will come to this later. Okay, so then you can also view as published. So view as published, if you click, then the page will open as if it is opening in the browser. As of now, it is throwing this error because there may be some error in this hello world component. So we can just delete this hello world component. Okay, we will just delete it and then try to refresh this page again. Okay, now it rendered. So this is how it will look like on your actual website. So if you want to see how the actual website is being rendered, then you need to do this WCM mode disabled, or else you have to open this and click on this view as published button. Okay, so apart from this, you can also click on this one, which is the emulator. Okay, here you can see how your website will look like in the desktop, how it will look like in the iPad, in the iPhone, and even the normal Android phone. Okay, so this is how your website is looking like in different devices, so you can get a look and feel of it. Okay, so that's the advantage of this emulator. Okay, and also you can see here, okay, there is a editor view and there is also a layout view here. So if you click on this layout view, then it will show the layout again here. It will go into the emulator and you can again see what are the different layouts here. Okay, so then there is another this thing called developer view. So I would like to tell you about something about this developer view. Okay, so if you click on this developer view, okay, so then you see something called as components here. So the advantage of this is, let us suppose a developer want to identify what is the path. Okay, as I told, each of these components are actually ultimately in the backend stored in the JCR, right? So where exactly in which path in which path of the JCR these components are stored. If you would like to know that, all you need to do is just click on this component and it will open that particular component for you. So here it opens, see, the title component. So if you just click on this page like view details, then you will be able to see the exact content path as to where exactly this particular title is stored. Okay, so this is all the basics about the page authoring. So now we will come to the development part of it. So let's try to understand how exactly this particular page is being rendered by Slightly. Slightly is our AEM framework. So how exactly the framework is rendering this page. So that's what we are going to understand now. So if you go to this particular path, right, if you just click on it, it will open this particular page in JCR. Okay, JCR is a repository. Okay, so this is the JCR repository, and in this repository it has opened which page exactly we are referring to. So here if you see, what I can do is I can first go into this path. Okay, so first I need to, this is the page we are talking about, right? So Slightly first will render, or first will identify what is the page. Okay, so first come here and paste it here and click on it. Okay, so now you know what is the page. Okay, so it will go into the contents, and you told weekend, so it will go into weekend, and you told here US, it will go into US, and then EN. So once you click on the search or enter, right, once you give the path and search or enter, then it will come on to that particular path. Okay, so how Slightly will resolve the page paths and resources, this I have covered as part of the AEM architecture video. So if you haven't already watched that, so just watch it out and come over here so that you have a end-to-end view of what is happening. So now once we are on the page, it will, if we open this JCR content, right, and then if we open this JCR root and then this container, so here is the title component. Okay, so this is the title component which we are seeing here. Okay, so this is the title component here, right? So this component is here in JCR. Okay, so now if you come here, so all we have done right now is we went to the page and we saw what all components are added on the page. What all we are seeing here. This is the container, and there are certain components added onto the page. So that's what we have identified in the first place. What is the page? So we go from the page path, identify the page, and then what are all the components which are added on that particular page. So that also we have identified. Then what we need to do is, there is a title component here, but which code I need to execute in order to render this title component as shown like this. Okay, what is the actual code? Okay, so that will be there as part of the Sling resource type. So it will go into the Sling resource type, and then it will copy this particular path, and then what it does is it will first search this particular path in /apps folder. Okay, it will search this path in apps folder. So now if you click on enter, you got this page, right? You got this component. So now it will try to open this particular node, and it will see if there is any HTML page available with the name title.html or not. Okay, so what it is trying to find is a HTML page. Okay, because your extension is HTML, right? So Sling will try to find out where is that HTML file, and with which name it will try to find. Since you have this title component here, the name of the component is title, it will first try to identify the HTML page with the name title. But if you just open this title component, there is no HTML page. So then what it tries to do is, it will go again into these properties, and it will see what is the Sling resource type. Okay, so this is Sling resource super type actually. Okay, this Sling resource to super type means this title, whatever we have created here, this component is actually inherited from this component. So that is what we are saying. So what we are saying here is this component which I created in this particular path is actually inherited from this component. So what it tries to do is it will go into this particular component. Okay, it will try to go into this particular component, and again it will search in the apps folder first. Okay, so it will paste this like this, and it will try to search it. Now you found again the title component here, so it will try to open this title component, and then it will see what all you have. Okay, here whether you have a file with title.html or not, it will see. Okay, if you have this title.html page here, then it will open this code and it will try to execute this code, and as per this code it will render the title here. Okay, so that is how it is identifying which script to run. Okay, so this is called a script resolution. Okay, so first it will try to identify what is the content. Okay, content resource. Okay, so that it will try to identify what is the page, what is the component. Then it will come to the component code and it will try to identify what is the component code. Okay, so here we talked about a concept called inheritance. So what is this inheritance and why we have to do it like this, we'll take up in further videos. But as of now, just understand like how exactly the Sling is looking into these nodes and how is it exactly trying to render the page. Okay, so that's what we have seen until now. So now what we'll do is we'll quickly create a small component, and we'll try to add that component onto the page. Okay, so to create the component, you first need to select this components folder, and first you need to create a node. Okay, and this node should be of type CQ component. Okay, so this is the way you need to you can tell to AEM that I am creating a component. Okay, if the type of the component or type of the node which you are creating should be of CQ component. Okay, I just need to name it. I will say this component is training. Okay, so then I will click on OK. So now that component is created, so always click on, whenever you do any change to JCR, always click on save all. Okay, just you need to remember, keep clicking it. If I go on to the title page, right, so you see something called as component group also. Okay, so what is this component group? Okay, so if I go back to my page here, okay, so and if I just go into the edit mode again, okay, and if I just open this side panel, and if I go into this component list, here if I see a name below, right, this weekend sites project hyphen content, right, this name is called as component group. Okay, so all these components have the same group. Okay, so these are all the same components which are belonging to the same component group. So like that we can group the components. Okay, if you see here, this is the component group, and in this component group you have all these components. If you create a new group like this is a new group. So like that you can create multiple groups, and you can group the components by name. Okay, so that is called as this component group. So we will also put this component group, so that this training component which we have created, it falls under some group. Okay, if you don't give the group, it will not appear in the page. Okay, just try to give the group. So why it will not appear, I will tell in the different video, but for now you try to make sure that you create this component with the same value. Okay, so here we need to add this component group. Okay, and just save it. Okay, so now you have created a component. Okay, so then we need to create a file here, which is the content file. Okay, so if you see here, I am not using any super resource type. As of now, I am just creating a custom component without any inheritance. Okay, so I need to create a file here, and I should say it's training.html. So I am creating a HTML file here, so that Sling will find that HTML file here itself, and whatever I gave the code here, it will execute. Okay, so if I just give h1 and h1, I will say hello world. Okay, so now this is the simple script I have given, the one heading tag with hello world. Okay, so now my assumption is that this component should appear in this page so that I'll be able to add it. So one more thing which we need to do is we need to add the JCR title also. Okay, here. So this is the title. This title will show up in that whenever you are clicking on the plus icon, and like this, whenever you come here and click on this plus icon to add a new thing, whatever name you are seeing here, right, that is the title. Okay, so you need to give the title also here. Okay, so just come and I'll give the title as training. Okay, and I'll just add it. Okay, so this is how we add it. So now what I'll do, I will just refresh this page once again, and I'll see if that component is appearing here. So if I just click on this plus icon, and if I try to see this training component, right, that component is not available. So though we have created a component, it is not available in this box. Okay, it is because we need to add compulsorily this dialog box. Okay, if you see here the original title component, we have CQ dialog here, right? So unless and until you add this CQ dialog, it won't appear in this component list. Okay, so that is one thing which we need to remember. Okay, so now let's try to add this CQ dialog. Okay, if you see, this is of resource type, Sling resource type is this one. Okay, so how do you add it? There are two ways to add this CQ dialog onto this component. The easiest way is you have to just copy here and come to here, click on this and paste it. So that's the simplest thing you can do. Okay, and it will paste all the entire structure also, all the child nodes also, it will copy and paste it for you, so you need not do anything. Otherwise you can just click on this and you can create node, you can click on create node, but you will have to give this name and all the properties manually. Okay, so I feel this copy paste thing is much better. So I have just added the CQ dialog. Okay, so then if I just go and refresh this page, let's see what I'll get. So now if I click on this layout container, and if I just click on this plus, and if I scroll down, I should be able to see this training component added. Okay, so if I just select this training component, then hello world is rendered here. It is the same code whichever I have given here. Okay, so this is the simple way in which we can add a component onto the page. Okay, so in the next videos we'll cover how to make this component configurable by adding a dialog box and much more things. If you are liking my videos, please subscribe to my channel and please hit on the bell button so that you get notified whenever a new video I am uploading. Thank you.